everyone. Welcome to Fractures of Reality. And I'm gonna stop singing now.
Okay.
In the last session, the party had a rather tense confrontation with Cricket, who was rather angry after a certain bit of spite. And you have all awoken to find yourselves having been teleported the 3-day journey to the Elf City. Whereupon, you found it surrounded in a barrier and devoid of all people.
Huh?
Are we inside or outside of the barrier?
Outside. Just let me get the music up. This will work. Not too loud? That should be good. So, as you are all looking up at the barrier, you all feel a headache come on. And you close your eyes and all rub your heads for a moment. And when you open them, the city is in front of you. Completely normal.
Huh?
Eh?
I walk up to where the barrier was and put a hand out through where it was very tentatively.
You do so,
Very
nothing happens.
Either I drank too much before, or the stress is finally getting to me, says Jezebel.
So I'm not the only person who feels like we just walked into a whole another plane.
Yeah,
To put it mildly.
I think I saw it too.
Clothes lying around all over the place with no one around to wear them.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Charlotte just enters the city and looks around, seeing that people are nearby and such. Something.
Say one of us did get true sight recently, didn't they?
So, Neku, you trailed off a bit at the end there and got super soft. Could you just repeat that?
Charlotte just walks around, looking around the people nearby, and then she just keeps walking closer to the poorer district of the town.
Okay. Yeah, no one knows what Clara's got yet. She hasn't really talked about it. You can ask her about it.
Ah.
You head towards the slum district, Charlotte. Walking past people cheerfully going about their day. You see, it's about the same as you left it. There's a couple new faces. People are, sitting in tents. It looks like nothing has changed.
You mean?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
What do you guys want to do?
I thought Korax had asked a question that I didn't.
Yeah, I did. Does anything look even slightly out of the ordinary to me? Does anything seem at all off?
I'm sorry.
Flora's eyes are a different color.
No. Nothing seems off. I mean, there's people wandering about, doing shopping, that sort of thing. It all looks more or less the same as when you last were here.
Hmm.
Jezebel, you head to the Thieves Guild, and you find the only change to this place. The shoe store has a sign at it saying, closed permanently. For business inquiries, please see the shoe tailor outside the city.
Yeah.
That is the only change to the city. The fact the tiny small shoe store has closed permanently and a vague location being given to some sort of shoe peddler.
Is there any guards nearby?
Let's play. Quite a few
There's
milling
plenty.
about.
Wait, I thought Korax's mother took a lot of the guards away,
Yeah, she did take quite a few of the guards.
and yet there's still plenty here.
Yep.
I mean to spring this on you, but just gonna go check on our family's house.
Alright. You check on your family's house. It's still standing, exactly as you left it. There's a couple of people squatting in it still, but you know, they're the same people you saw last time. Yes, your eye color has changed. We just haven't updated the art yet. I've been busy.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, anything you do there, Charlotte?
This is Charlotte's family's house, right?
Yes.
And it's empty with squatters.
This is hold on.
You're
Are you
thinking
going
of
to I see. You're going to a different place to the
Yeah.
right. Sorry. I thought that was your family's house that you went to there.
No, that was my friend's house. The front.
You head inside and I this is a question for you.
Yeah.
Is your family still alive?
The mother and father should be. However, the grandma should not be.
Well, you enter in and they greet you. They go, Charlotte, where the hell have you been? We've been looking everywhere for you. And then they begin to ask you 1,000 questions naturally.
Okay. Well, she's at least at ease seeing their family still alive, and she just brushes off the questions. And I gotta head out now. Just wanted to make sure you guys are still good. I hope you've been doing well with the money I sent. But for now, I'll catch up a little later. Something else pressing right now.
They seem rather annoyed with this, but they go, well, you are an adult. I guess you can go if you need to. They're not happy about it, but they do let you go.
Yeah. Oh, Charlotte says one more thing before she heads off. If you see some odd occurrences, I would advise that you can stay out the city for a few days.
Very well.
Thank you. Alright, so let's trace back, and Charlotte just mumbles as she walks away.
So, what do the rest of you do?
Currently sticking with Jezebel for the moment.
Sure.
Just
Is there
trying to
does,
figure out what the heck they just saw.
Ryu?
would anyone happen would anyone happen to have a way to know for sure if these are all the same people?
I was gonna say we could check with Korex's parents, but they're not here anymore.
She should still be able to recognize some of the guards at least, right?
Korax is eavesdropping in the crowd, trying to listen to conversations.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they took that corpse down finally. I mean, I get why they had it up. It was just absolutely disgusting and it really detracted from shopping. And you know, it was just really, really smelly. Yeah, I heard they finally I heard the wife of the guy who got killed actually took a lot of the guardsmen and they've had to replace them with civilians from the town. I hear it's paying quite good.
Hmm. Okay, gonna listen to ooh, 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 ooh. Gonna listen to another one. Like basically, I'm trying to see if they're all just pre-recorded versions of the same thing. That's an old illusion trick.
No, you hear quite varied in different conversations. One person's talking about potentially getting a pet, one is complaining about the upper class, one is drunkenly saying, Viva la revolution! Bring back the trees! Yeah, the usual drunken elven city stuff.
Right. Well, if this is an illusion, it's a very good one.
Well, I can confirm it's not an illusion.
Oh, great. Oh, I will say a lot of a lot of guards have had to be replaced lately.
So this is so these so
This is
this is
real. So, what did we see outside?
so the guards we're seeing right now are militia.
Yes.
Basically, because the because your mother took a lot of the guards and trained individuals out, they do still have some trained guards, but to keep the impression that the city is still safe and well protected, they've hired on citizens to just walk and patrol around. So the city is weakened, but it's doing its best to appear normal. Charlotte, do you have something you want to say?
Sure, I can make some few deductions. So, as she says that last line over in the text, she looks over to Jezebel and Sakita. From what I have seen and what we all see is in fact the reality. There's a few outcomes of why that happened. One is we can infer that if we are on concept that we accept that vision we saw or the event we saw was even real, then we can safely assume that it's either a vision or an illusionary too. If it's an illusionary trick, what was the purpose of it? If it's a vision, the purpose is pretty clear.
Well, it did seem to me like it was probably a vision, but
Now,
I'm not sure.
now let's go on the concept that it's not either one of this two. If we go off the fact that what we saw was not a vision or an illusionary trick, then it has entirely different purpose. The trick didn't make much sense to me at the moment. There was no goal accomplished with it that we have known, so it would easily be able to infer that as a vision, more of a warning. But let's assume that is actually a magic outcome, as in it's an effect that's happening right now. Then we should be able to trigger it again if we simply walk outside the city. And if that's not the case, then it's going to have to be narrowed down to a trick or a vision. The trick we just don't know the purpose to. The vision can just easily be inferred as a warning. So that's what I think of this event.
Hmm.
It seems that the guards here, or even the people nearby, are still talking about current events. So, from that knowledge alone, we can also affirm that the events that we have seen previous to the city are all still in place, correct? We can assume that Korax's mother has left with a good bit of guards, good bit of trained firepower, and in that concept, then everything's still in order.
And they should be 2 days behind us, I believe.
Yes, that's what they said. However, that part isn't very important. It is good to know that for later.
Considering you guys were teleported, they're about 5 days behind you now.
We're assuming 3 days because
Yeah.
that was kind of abrupt. I'm just doing this for IC reason.
Sorry.
So yeah, so we can assume that they're going to take a few days, maybe a longer or shorter, based off what we know. Anything else you like to do? To like comment on that? Did I collect everything accordingly?
What do you suggest, dear? We wait or handle things ourselves. If they are going to take a few days, then cannot afford to wait.
No, I agree on that. I agree on that idea, Jezebel. Whatever, if that was a warning, then we have to act immediately. We'll have to set up defenses in town. But with the effect of said act, it feels like there's going to be a magical event that's happening. And that's if we can infer this, correct? So, with that said, is there any way you could do a mass teleportation effect? And if so, would that be even in the city, given that that's the effect? Or would that just be an effect taken somewhere else?
Mass teleportation.
Seems a bit odd, I agree, but what they left behind was a key point in the vision. Granted, since it was if we infer that it's a vision, it could be altered in any way to give us clues. What we saw in that brief moment is going to matter now. We can infer based off that either they were taken, kidnapped, or the latter died and left their clothes there in the vision.
So, how much would Cicada know about teleportation?
Roll
I'm
Arcana.
interested. Arcana, okay.
While I think about that, Ryu, Corax, and Chlora, what are you doing?
So, Korax, as you were eavesdropping on the people, did any of them say anything having to do with the barrier? Do they even know it's there?
Did anyone?
Nope, they haven't said a single thing about a barrier.
No mentions.
No mentions whatsoever.
Then we can't say, and we can't say anything, or else we risk causing a panic. There has to be someone we can talk to, though. Maybe the person recruiting who's recruiting the guards we're seeing around here. here recently might be a good place to start.
Do I, DM, would I know who's recruiting the guards?
The guardhouse. They've posted notices saying, sign up, we'll pay you 1 silver a week, which is a pretty competitive wage for, very low class. And yeah, it just says report to the guard tower if you want to sign up.
Perhaps we should ask what the others have found, Kalora says.
Perhaps.
DM,
Yeah.
since I have military knowledge and a decent rank in the Elven City, I assume from my past records anyway.
Mm.
Will I know where such a stone would be kept at?
Those of you who lived in the city, so that would be Charlotte and Corax, you may roll history to determine if you know of such a stone.
I'm going to use my inspiration if that's okay.
Sure.
Nope.
Natural 1. You have no idea.
And I'm going to
12.
use. I'm also going to use the Flash of Genius to make that 12 a 16. If that makes a difference.
Okay. You do remember mentions. You don't remember any mentions of a stone, but you do know of one shield in the city. A barrier held around a dragon egg to keep it safe.
You have a dragon egg in the city?
Top
Yeah,
right.
it's right over here.
I thought that was just map decoration.
It was given to the city by, I believe it was a gold or copper dragon. I'd have to double check the session, but they gifted it to the city, and in return for protecting it, the dragon did something for them.
Okay. Jezebel and Takeda. You two can go back to the group for the moment. Time is very important. I don't want to waste a lot of it. So I'm going to head to where I think this stone might be at. You can have Ryu send me if you get any more information. Also, I recommend you ask Ryu to send a message to Korak's mother to acquire a better location for it.
Okay.
Jezebel, I'm never by myself. You should know better than that. Regardless, we are running out of time. You can come get to me later. I just need to check it now. Does that make sense?
So cliche, dear. Yet, I get it. Don't do anything I would until we catch up.
You know me better than that. And Charlotte starts walking on the air over to the tower.
Alright.
Levitation!
Casually walking over the town.
Yep.
As you walk towards the dragon head, one of the guards calls out and says, "Do not go over the royal palace, otherwise you are free to fly."
Charlotte would use some kind of. Let me actually see if I actually have that spell. I don't. She would just shouts back saying, "Yeah, Understood.
So yeah, they don't stop you, but they do keep an eye on you because, you know, walls are only so useful against something that's flying.
Yeah.
So, you come over to the part of the city you guys have not really been at. In a large courtyard surrounded by houses, there's a large pillar that seems to be almost cut out of the same piece of rock, and it's absolutely smooth. It's as if something face actually roll me a perception check. This is the one time a dwarf would be useful. So based on the way the stone looks, you get the impression that it was melted to make it smooth, so that no one could climb up it.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, at the very top, sitting in a nest, surrounded by a circular barrier that seems to go right into the large stone pillar, is an egg, a large dragon egg.
So this is what they're keeping safe here? Where's the barrier coming from? So I was gonna try and walk around the pillar to see if there's any openings and such.
With your earlier perception roll, there is not.
Mhm.
The only real openings appear to be inside the barrier, where there's a makeshift nest that the egg is. Well, it's sort of a wooden nest because they needed to make it so it would last, but there's a nest in there that is keeping the egg secure.
Okay. So if it's an opening, can I get into it?
There is no opening
Okay.
because it's inside the barrier.
Ah, fair. Wait a minute. I do have an idea. I don't know if I have any abilities to do that. So yeah, I don't have an ability to do that, but I want to feel the metal on the tower. And
Um,
based off my knowledge on metalwork
it's
or
stone,
rock.
not metal, but
Okay.
there is a small bit of metal, but for the most part, it's made out of a single piece of stone.
Okay. This Charlotte tries to knock on it. Does it sound hollow?
It does not. Though,
Okay.
with your roll, with your perception roll, the barrier that surrounds the egg is identical to the one you saw around the city.
I wish I can trace it. Something's weird. Child just mutters and just tries to study the barrier in question.
Roll Arcana.
Okay.
It is a barrier made to protect the egg, and it blocks anything from coming in and anything from getting out.
I do not know the source.
Hmm. The source appears to be coming from inside the barrier.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna watch the barrier then.
Alright. You watch it for a bit, and it continues to be a barrier. And you okay if I leave you there for now?
Yeah, trying to give me the opening to do that.
Yeah. All right. What are the rest of you doing?
Me and Jezebel have headed back to the group.
All right. You rejoin the others.
Where's Charlotte?
He's investigating the barrier around the dragon egg over there.
You all look up and you can just see
Sha-
Charlotte casually standing and peering at the dragon egg in the distance.
On air.
Yes.
Wait, I didn't know they were keeping a dragon egg here.
I like that. That's the reaction. Very apt reaction.
They were always doing they. Oh yeah, they've been doing that for a while.
How's Charlotte walking on the air?
Levitation?
Okay.
What do you guys want to do?
I don't mind admitting I am out of ideas.
Well, hmm.
We can either.
Let's head back to Charlotte.
Good idea. We can't. None of us can. None of us should be out alone on here as things are.
Right.
All right. You all head over. Charlotte, you're peering at the dragon egg, and you see it shake.
Natural shaking or like movement shaking?
Natural.
So like it's trying to hatch shaking.
You saw it just briefly jolt.
Okay. Hmm.
You haven't seen many eggs hatch, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'm not really around natural life, so that's fair. Odd. So, what's the like legally issue if I were to break into the barrier?
Would
I
probably
mean-
be illegal.
The egg is very much easily visible from all directions, I should mention.
Yeah.
Like, that's its defense. It's visible from the entire city, so if something did try to break in, the entire
Okay, let me
guards would see.
Yeah,
let me
someone
rephrase
would
this.
notice.
What if I didn't break the barrier but I got in?
I think that would still be illegal.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, when the guards noticed you, they'd probably sound the alarm.
Yeah, there's like a ton of witnesses here.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah, your antics
Okay.
have gathered a crowd that are just watching you.
Charlotte just starts walking down as if she's climbing downstairs.
They all look disappointed and begin to wander away.
So
Or
much
relieved.
so much for keeping a low profile.
Well, it's not really about keeping a low profile, Ryu.
As we don't know all what's going on.
Yeah.
So what did you learn?
I learned the barrier connecting to the egg is probably inside the barrier itself. Other than that, about the barrier wise, I'm not too sure. I'm not even sure if the stone's related to the egg. I just figure I get a guess.
Do you think there's like a staircase in the inside of this stone, or did you think not?
I don't think so. I do find it weird how they would make a barrier but with no way of getting inside of it from the outside means. Especially for an egg that's almost impractical. But I didn't see a way to get inside from the way I was doing before.
Do you think we could just teleport in?
No,
Yeah.
that was an idea, but based on how high it is, we'll probably get a bit of trouble for that one. And we don't. There's no reason to take that risk right now, other than just knowing that the stone is in there. I'd rather just confirm something. Ryu,
Yes.
can you go ahead and contact Korax's mother and ask her where the stone is at?
I can try.
And that's what we have to do at this point. Also, I did see the egg shake, so it might be hatching soon.
Anyway. Any.
I don't think so, Jezebel. I think the barrier is meant to protect the egg. I do believe they'll have to have a method to get to the egg, but otherwise, it's truly up in the air. Unless they have a good wizard that can fly there normally and dispel the barrier, I don't see how they would get inside easily.
Well, if the barrier is being made by the stone, I don't think we could really dispel it by any normal means.
No, I agree with that. I mean, dispel magic could maybe work, but it would be a very strong wizard to do so.
And none of us are wizards.
I mean, we have a shot. It's just very low.
Why
Based
are
on,
we so interested in this egg?
it's not the egg we're interested in, Cicada. It's why it's being protected by a barrier. The barrier could be very well the stone. That's why I wanted to ask. The egg doesn't serve as much importance at the moment.
I would like you all to roll perception.
Okay. Bleh.
What?
Oh.
Wow,
I do not understand.
Wow, that true sight became passive.
Alright, well, this was a very hard check. So, Clara and Charlotte, you're the only ones that noticed this. There's a crack in the egg.
The egg cracked.
What? She looks up.
You all can't see it, it's too far away. Clorix can maybe sort of see it.
Squints. Wow. Imagine that. Like, in Korak, a bit of a smile goes over Korak's face.
should should we alert someone about this?
No,
Nah.
Okay.
there is.
They'll notice soon enough.
Jezebel, yeah, you can easily tell the egg's hatching. And based on what you've heard, you'd estimate it's probably going to hatch in 1 or 2 days.
How tall is the tower? Like from the
Uh,
ground.
About 40 feet.
Okay, that's very doable.
Actually, no, wait. How high? How many feet is a house?
Suddenly, it's not doable anymore.
Hatch in maybe 2 days.
Okay, so a 2-story house is 20 feet. So yeah, about 40 feet.
Oh, it's very doable. Okay, so Charlotte ponders at this. I don't recall there being any sort of like procedures for the egg. I just remember hearing about it in a briefing a long time ago.
Veloth responds to you by saying, well, it's guarding the dragon egg, of course. It was put in place to protect it. No one knows how to open the barrier anymore.
Interesting.
I she's she said the Charlotte the the gem the gem is that the gem is that dragon egg is the that gem is what's protecting the dragon egg.
Does does she
Makes
know how to get?
sense.
Does she know how to get the gem once the egg's hatched?
I don't.
You didn't ask that, so she didn't answer.
I could. I don't. It. It may not. I don't know if that's. I don't know if trying to. I don't know if doing anything to the dragon egg now will be a good idea, especially if it's hatching soon. And if they think we're trying to harm the egg, we're done.
And that's going to be easily inferred. No guards don't let us up there, even by permission or Korax's standing. Considering Korax's standing is in the mud right now, I'm the best one to have any sway on authorities.
Speaking of Korax, did you disguise yourself before coming in?
Yes, I did. It, 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 I, it, like, not very thoroughly, like it was yeah, it was just a quick disguise self spell, basically. Like, I made the skin, made my skin a bit, it darker, her hair's black.
It's fine, you don't. I got it. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And also the shiny armor is morphed into much plainer looking clothing.
mm-hmm. Anyway, Jezebel asked the question. Feel free to answer in voice.
I
Hmm.
think the goal is not to harm the egg, of course. That's not even the question. It's just what it would appear to be.
Has the city
What?
planned that far ahead?
It feels like they haven't. Can I roll history to see if there's any, like, remembering any procedures about
Sure.
the egg if it ever actually hatches?
Sure.
Okay. I'll roll history.
From what you understand, the city was told that when the egg hatches, the hatchling will just fly away, and that their part of the duty is done.
Interesting.
So, they're. So they just. So they just want to protect the egg until it hatches and nothing else beyond that.
That's what I was remembered. But there's only one problem with that, is the barrier that I have seen is designed to not let anything out or in. So how would they dispel it?
That's a good point.
Unfortunately for you and Korax, this egg has been here for so long, people actually forget it's there. Like, there's a reason why most people go, wait, we have a dragon egg in the city? Like, that's a common reaction. People forget it's even there.
But no one remembers how to deactivate the barrier as soon as it hatches.
It's been there
Do they?
you'd say, probably a solid 500 years. Like, even with elves' long lives, like, they might have it written down somewhere, but they probably aren't going to really remember it because what reason do they have to go? Right, I gotta remember to do X with the dragon egg in 400 years. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jezebel, if that's the case, the dragon is going to be doomed to fly in his cage forever. Are you okay with that?
Of course she isn't.
Maybe we should ask the officials on this. See if they have something written down.
Is it
Maybe.
possible for a dragon to destroy crystal?
I'm not sure.
All right. Anyone who wants to try and discern how the dragon gets out, I want you to roll an intelligence check.
Straight intelligence? Okay.
Yep.
19.
Okay. All right. Let me just message you, Rio. Boom. And all right. I've told the people who would have figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, Ryu would be the dragon expert here.
Actually, I'm gonna give Jezebel and Charlotte advantage. Charlotte because they've shown themselves to be pretty smart. So, you know what? I'm just gonna copy and paste it.
Okay.
Like based on what you've heard of the information and the fact no one seems bothered by the egg about to hatch, they probably have something in place that will allow the dragon to get out when it's ready.
Okay. And I think maybe we should ask someone about this, just to be sure.
Sure, you can totally do that.
Okay, we need to find some officials, so I'm going to attempt to ask around.
All right. You ask around, and they all inform you that most of the officials live in and around the royal palace that is locked behind the gate. Though you may be able to find something in the royal library, though you have to pay a fee to get in.
I mean, we have money now. Unless it's very expensive.
Speaking of money, I would probably like a bag of holding because this gold is heavy.
Alright, that'll be 300 GP.
There goes. Make a pit stop over at the magic shop, or at the Great Emporium. Up to you.
Yes.
Chlor gladly pays the 300.
Alright, you now have a bag of holding.
Just make a pit stop over here.
Yep.
And just gonna go around over to. I'm gonna just go to the library, because that's the safest bet.
Alright. Well, I believe it's To enter for 1 day is 1 gold. To get a library card to enter for a year is 20.
I'll just pay for the 1 day.
Alright? And that's per person, by the way.
And-
Ryu will buy the library card.
Okay.
So, you enter the library and there's 1 or 2 attendants who look quite old, even for elves. Like, they're clearly wizened. They've aged gracefully, of course, because they're fucking elves, but, you know, they have some definite years behind them.
Okay. Well, I don't want to spook him with insect-like features, so I'm putting the hood up. I mean, I've always put the hood up for now, but yeah, just trying to emphasize that. She's gonna sheepishly go up to one of these elves and go, excuse me.
So, just before that, the Royal Library is huge. Like, I know the image for it isn't that large, but it's got large open foyers. There's maybe 3 floors filled to the brim with books, and there's even an entire section that's glowing with magic. It's marked entry only under supervision. Entry
Right.
allowed
And
only under supervision. So she
okay.
looks down to you and she says, "Yes, can I help you find anything?"
Well, we were wondering if you knew something about the dragon egg in the city.
What do you want? Oh yes, that dragon egg. What do you want to know about it?
Well, we noticed that it might be hatching very soon, and we wanted to know if it was gonna be okay. What with the barrier still surrounding it?
Oh yes, we actually had someone go and determine when the egg will hatch exactly. We're planning a celebration in 2 days to celebrate its hatching. And as for the barrier, don't worry. It will automatically disable once the egg hatches. It was designed to protect the egg until it hatches, so once the egg hatches, it will automatically return to its normal form. As in, the power source that we use to power the barrier will become an inert source again, and we'll be able to use it towards defending our lovely city.
Um, okay.
I'm afraid that
Also,
information is classified. She looks to Jezebel. Due to it being important to the security of the elf city.
uh, I see. Well, do you have any books about barriers and abjuration magic by chance?
Oh yes, you want to go up to the second floor and head towards aisle A, and it should be in the middle of the aisle.
Okay, thank you. She goes to find a book about barriers, specifically the weaknesses of barriers.
Well, what you find in the book is basically the barriers either have a time limit or you can use dispel magic.
But no teleporting inside the barriers. That wouldn't work.
It would probably work, but it really depends. Some barriers prevent teleportation. Like, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a spell that traps you in an invisible
Force cage?
cage. Yeah, force cage. And you can't teleport out of that. Oh, you can, but yeah.
Did the barrier look like it was made out of force magic?
Probably.
Hmm. I mean, I have detect magic, but
That just tells you the school of magic.
yeah, which is abjuration, which tells me nothing.
Yes.
Hmm. I don't think Cicada has ever seen Force Cage used ever, so she wouldn't know.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Ryu is going to ask the librarian, and I trust us the I trust that this ceremony will be sufficiently guarded.
Well, yes. The king is actually going to be coming to take the power source out once the dragon leaves. It's a whole official thing.
It makes sense. Thank thank you, and I I'm sorry. I know that seems like that's a sensitive question, but I am a follower of Alexander Goldscale, so it's oh, protection is a concern of mine.
Of course.
Will it be
Yes.
seen by everyone?
It's a great celebration, after all. Um, Most people don't really know about it yet because we haven't started advertising it. We'll be doing that tomorrow to give people time to get ready for the celebration, but yes, the celebration in proper will be in 2 days. In the city,
Oh,
right
where?
by the Dragon Egg.
Okay. In the meantime, Cicada is going to look up the properties of dragon eggs.
They're fairly fragile, but once the dragon hatches, they can normally fend for themselves. It depends on the dragon type, though. But you do indeed have a dragon expert there too.
Yeah, which would be Jezebel, who is an expert on steel dragons.
So Clorax, Chlora, and Charlotte. What are you three doing?
As Charlotte thinks about the current scenario happening, she doesn't know about anything of the festival yet, so she is going to ponder on the knowledge she has right now. With that said, she glances to the military royal palace as well, and just thinks about how she's gonna play her cards here. That's all she's doing right now.
Okay. Clorax.
You're muted, Corax.
Um.
Clara isn't sure
What?
what she's going to do.
Korax is actually scouting out the area around the dragon egg. See, like basically combing it over to see if there's any hidden spots where someone who wanted to try anything during the ceremony would hide.
Well, there's plenty of houses surrounding it. Like the area is the dragon egg is in a small court is in a large courtyard and there's houses surrounding it. And you get the impression that they're probably gonna have stalls and festivity things in the clearing. So the better question is, where won't there be somewhere that something could happen?
Hmm. Gonna have to go back Gonna have to go back during festival preparations then.
Anything else?
I got one thing.
Go for it.
She's going to Charlotte eventually sighs and just gives up and goes to the barracks.
Okay.
She's gonna look for one of her old colleagues
It
that
take
wasn't.
it takes you a bit to find someone. Most of them have been already sent off or are on duty. But you do find one of your old crewmates. Let me just quickly pull up the list and give you their exact name. Because it's
Okay.
been a while.
Yeah.
Alright, it's Elric.
Elric, is that you?
Yes, hello.
It's good to see you again.
Names might be slightly different, I can't remember, but yeah, I've just been working towards my goal.
I get you.
What do
I
you
know
want?
things. What do you mean by that?
I really doubt you'd approach me after all this time without having some reason you're contacting me.
Is that how you feel about it, Elric?
Am I wrong?
Yes. I wanted to see how you were doing, how the city was doing.
Well, the city is going fine. I'm still having not much luck in finding the secret to immortality, but I have made some progress on bringing my dead brother back to life.
I know we share different views on that, but I rather just let the dead stay dead. But I understand your views.
You've probably liked my brother. He's very optimistic.
I get you. We should share a drink again whenever everything dies down fully.
Sure, I'll let you meet him. He's actually back alive. I finally saved up enough for the resurrection, so
Oh, okay.
he nods.
Charlotte nods and just pats his shoulder or where she can reach it. And she just scratches her side of her head a bit. So I'm guessing the team broke up fully. So you know any rumors of everyone else is at?
There's a few who still are in the city, but most of them went with there's one or two in the city, but most of them went with the lady. I really gotta
Mary.
remember her name.
Yeah.
Va Valeth. Valeth.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I figured that would happen.
You
All
know
right.
how they are with their sense of justice and all that.
Yeah. Oh, do I?
One or two went to the forest to pick up those who were left there after the mission. Since you came by, word's gotten out, and they've sent someone up to get the others so the team can get back together.
I got it.
That's actually
good.
why I'm here. I'm just keeping the seat warm for whoever shows up.
Make sure they get a warm welcome, or the best you can anyway.
He nods.
Still, just be on guard. I think things are gonna happen soon. Take care.
I'll be sure to get everyone ready.
You're that rank now? Impressive.
Could you repeat that?
You're of that rank now? That's impressive.
I'm only slightly higher rank, but I do have a couple of people who, let's just say, seniority counts for something in some places.
Very well. Just prepare. You take care.
He gives you a lazy salute.
Charlotte does the same. And she'll head back into the city and just browse around for right now. Seems
Sure.
like nothing's gonna happen in her mindset for a bit.
Sure. So, what do you guys do next? Like, you guys are talking through the chat. Feel free to
You
start
okay?
talking. You guys that are talking via the chat, feel free to start voicing if you want.
Okay.
Jez, it's it's way more it's way more serious than just that. The one that will be retrieving the power source once the barrier's down will be the king.
Do we know anything about the king?
Nope. Horax might though.
Well, tell me, DM, how well do I know the king?
I mean, your family used to work fairly closely with them, so you'd know them fairly well. And because I don't know your exact connections with them, I'm going to let you describe what you know of the king and queen.
Well, uh, let probably less than would probably less than I would necessarily like for this particular situation. And like I was always too upright to really get into the family business, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really have the same in, direct line to them. That being said, I have met them, and they would know me. Of course, there is the little wrinkle that my family's whole name has kind of been ruined forever at the moment, so they might not even want to talk to me.
Mm. And take the stone for themselves.
Oh.
Oh boy. I imagine we're gonna be having this conversation outside. Because we didn't really find anything that we didn't already know in the library.
Feel free to discuss.
I mean,
Wasn't determined the sources inside the shield.
well, they did say that the king has the info we need to get to the source.
Jez, think about it. It if the remember what the Drow's goal is here. Here, they want to take the city. What better time to do that at than and while it's still what better time to do that at and at then after the king is assassinated? The city would be in a panic. They wouldn't be able to defend themselves well enough. And if the king is the one retrieving the power source, and they kill him, then they could grab the gem. They'd be killing two birds with one stone. Literally.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, hey guys.
Uh,
Still at the library, I see.
y- yeah.
Hello.
Hi. We heard that there's going to be a festival for the egg. They're gonna advertise for it tomorrow.
Oh, that's great news.
And they said that the king himself was going to attend, and he's going to be the one to bring down the barrier once the egg hatches.
See.
But do we know anything about the king at all?
You can roll history if you'd like.
Hmm. No, I'm really bad at history. Yep.
We'll just do that.
Yeah, you
I'm
guys.
tempted to let Clara know, but she wouldn't know.
Yeah, you guys never really cared enough about the elf city or who's in charge of it to really question it. Ryu, though, you know of the Elf King because he's the one who ended the hunting of Kitsune. You don't know. I don't have his name right on me right now, but he's the one who changed the law that allowed people to hunt Kitsune. You don't know his
It made it
reasons why, but you know that he's the one who made it illegal.
icky.
Well, when as I w- when I was growing up, all I ever heard but heard was the king that the king that's on the throne right now is the same one that ended the fox hunts.
Oh, well, now I'm wondering, would anyone know when the king would arrive for the ceremony? Maybe we could warn him.
No, there will be no for that.
Hmm.
My idea on that is he either will just brush us off, or he'll call us assassins. Based off what our status and knowledge is, you really can't do much to sway the king right now. I will say this. Based off my knowledge of orders that were given out to me during those times, um, well, DM, am I allowed to, like, I'm not even sure. Can I see the nature of some of those orders back when Charlotte was actually actually doing government work like that?
For the most part, it
Would
was
that make
just.
sense?
For the most part, it was just like guard work, defend X, protect Y. Sometimes you'd be sent out to deal with monsters or escort some important official to a Y city. But other than the jobs you got from boss, most of them were just, standard fare for an army during peace times.
I gotcha. Then this goes to my next question. Um, who was given the orders? Who had the final say on them?
That was boss, I believe. No, wait.
Before the boss. Before bosses, by the way.
Ah. Um, he was a. He's a. He's a. He's a half elf named Frederick. He's one of the few half elves that have actually managed to make a name for themselves in the city during the times when other races weren't really accepted.
Okay.
And he's pretty proud of that. And before he moved up the rank, and before you got assigned to boss, he was a decent enough sort. He'd assign you the work, and when you finish, he'd be like, "All right, take a day off, and come see me tomorrow for your next assignment."
Okay. So the king had no influences on what Charlotte did.
Nope,
Okay, that's all I needed to
you
know.
never dealt with him directly.
Well, even indirectly is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Mm,
Based off my understanding, military and royalty were always two different factions entirely.
Would not require sneaking into the house.
That would be the palace, I believe.
Didn't. Clara looks around and sees everyone around. Do we have a nickname for Corax?
I don't think they would let us in anyway.
Give me a day, Jezebel, and we can probably do that.
Mm,
Clara walks over to Corax. Do we have a nickname for you? She whispers.
And I don't believe so. Please don't make one up.
Well, I was just thinking, calling you your name out in the middle of the public might not be the best idea.
It's not her name that's the problem, it's her last name.
Okay. To answer Jezebel's question, it's a rough plan, but there's an important to this risk here, and it is a risk. I want to find out two things from the king in particular. One, if he's corrupted, and two, if he's not corrupted, then we need to have a way to protect him.
maybe
Corax,
we,
didn't you live in the royal palace?
um, maybe we should talk about this somewhere private.
Probably a good idea.
Not like I'm screaming it out at the top of my lungs. Besides, passing by, it's whatever.
Mm, maybe we should head to an inn somewhere.
Well, you've got three choices in terms of inns. The half pitcher inn. No, wait, that's the wrong one. Sorry. I know I have a handout on the three different inns. I was sure I did.
Doesn't Corax have that one person we can go visit?
You do?
Shall we go there to talk?
If you can remember the name and address.
Do you remember the name and address of that Corax?
Of course.
You're muted, Corax.
And I don't want to drag him into this.
Mm.
Mm,
Okay.
let's just go to the nearby tavern.
So, I can't remember. I'm still looking for the information, but you got three taverns. Shady's Tavern, which is the worst of them, You've got Toasty Tavern, which is middle of the road, basic tavern. And then you've got the Great Elephant Inn, which is the best tavern.
Say a Toasty Tavern because it's less expensive but better than Shady's.
Sure. Toasty's Tavern has actual locks on the doors.
Okay.
Crazy.
So I believe that place is 5 silver a night.
Okay.
I'm not staying there, but I'm gonna discuss in there for now.
Sure. So, let me move you guys over to a map then. Yeah, we can use this one. Oh no, everyone's tokens are gone. 1 second.
That's awkward.
Only Clara is here.
Bam. 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 So, the room you guys got was these two rooms together here.
Mhm.
Okay? Those are the two
Okay.
rooms you purchased.
Yeah, it was 5 silver per room or per person?
Per person.
Okay.
Well, Jezebel, there's a reason for that. It helps with motive and then also determines how hard this job will be. If our goal is to get the source that protects the barrier, we have to see if the king is an ally or not.
If he isn't, we have to do less savory things.
No, the issue if he isn't, it just makes this job a lot harder to deal with. We'll be viewed as criminals by the end of this day.
Hmm. Well, it's better than, well, whatever the drow are planning.
That's just it. We don't know what they're planning. If we don't even know if what we don't even know if what we've deduced so far is correct, let alone how they plan to execute it.
Very fair, Ryu. And Jezebel, with that question in mind, the goal would be we're on a time limit. I would say we have 2 days, which is correct for the festival, right? So determining what we do tomorrow will impact what we do the day after. Would that not make sense? I suggest that we, or rather you, would have to sneak into the palace and try to get any information on what the king is. And also, if we can find information, the power source is the primary objective.
Hmm. As you guys are talking, Cicada is looking through her journal again, and she notices a few differences here and there. She's scanning the pages vigorously now, just looking at different messages that are incredibly scrawled. I didn't I don't remember writing these. What is this?
What were you writing?
Uh, should I show this? I'm not sure if it's she
What's it?
seems flustered.
Ah, that was in character. Continue.
Do you know what it is?
Uh, Maybe just look for yourselves. I'm not sure what to make of these. And she lays out the book in front of you. And on it are pictures, very, very scrawled pictures and messages in ink. That's a little bit different from Cicada's usual handwriting. It's a lot sloppier. But what they essentially depict is it looks like some kind of black cat eating the sun, as well as a winged serpent encircling the world. Well, or making separate different worlds, while a black cat is chasing after them. And the messages are like very short. They look like warnings. One of them says 3 days. Another says stop the drow. Another says find the orb. And another says Tez cat is coming.
Clara goes over all the messages and just stops the Tezcat. She's like, Tezcat. And then she just drops to the floor, clutching her head. Gah, my head hurts.
What? Who is that? I don't know.
I feel this grating static in my mind that I just somehow know contains relevant information. She picks the journal up and looks at the Tezcat. And she completes the name. I think that's the name of Cricket's brother.
His what?
She writes the rest of the name into the journal. Do you guys remember having a talk with Cricket?
I'm not sure.
Clara's just rubbling her temples as she's like
I don't
trying
I
to
don't-
sift through things.
I don't think any of us have heard from him since last night.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be talking about this, should I?
No, Cicada. No,
we should.
Cicada. Ada, you're right to bring this to our attention. If Cricket is trying to tell us something, we should at least listen.
Yeah, as she turns through more pages, there's another note that says Cricket did nothing wrong.
Clara goes over that and she's like, Cricket did nothing wrong, and he has a brother. Does that mean his brother's the one that's making trouble? And then she winces.
I'm not sure how Korax is reacting to this because he's muted. She's muted.
Korax is Korax is barely paying attention. Because she's focusing on and planning how she's going to save the king from whatever is about to happen during the dragon egg ceremony.
Maybe I should talk to Cricket again. One more time, just to clear things up.
Clara rubs her temples a little bit more. She's like, Jezebel and Charlotte, do you remember anything? I feel like you should know something.
Yeah, she says for some reason this all sounds familiar. Recall the conversation we apparently had, dear Clara.
It's static, but when you bring things up, they become more clear. So anything you have would be useful.
Got nothing.
I'm listening because he's not demanding anything from us in return for this information. He gave it to us up front. Why would that's not like him.
I'm trying to think. As everybody else is talking, Cicada is going to telepathically try to contact Cricket again.
Charlotte's just gonna walk out.
You're walking out?
Yep.
Are you... Do you need to do anything, or...
She just want to be in the room right now.
Alright, well, when you want to do something, just send me a message, otherwise I'll... You know.
It's okay.
You
I
okay?
gotcha. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. What do you send to Cricket, Cicada?
I want to talk to him. Did you make me write this?
No, you wrote
You-
it yourself.
What? Can you explain, please?
He pauses for a moment and there's a long pause and then he says, I don't remember any of this.
Oh. Well, do you know who this Hezcat Lapoka is?
Yes, that's my brother. But I do not know how you came to that name.
It was written in this journal, and Clara just filled in the blanks.
Yes, but I do not know how you came to that information.
I don't know either. Did something happen?
I do not know.
Now she just looks a little bit more distraught.
Clara is rubbling her temples and she's like, well, the warning says we have 3 days, right? It would have taken us 3 days to walk here. Do you think that's why we were teleported instead?
Wait, that vision from earlier. That must count for something. If we didn't teleport here, maybe that's what would happen. But why did we see it, is the question.
Let's see, Tez Cat. Clara is just rubbing her temples and wincing every so often as she's trying to pour through the static in her brain.
I don't think this is getting us anywhere. But I think it's best that we trust Cricket for now.
To Cricket's credit, he's never lied to us. So, oh, whether he was the one who gave us this information or not, and although I have that really concerns me. If neither or Cicada or Cricket remember or putting those notes in her journal, then who did?
What did Cricket say?
Uh, he doesn't know how we came about this information. He doesn't
Did-
remember either.
So now
But-
So now we have odd things go now. So now we have odd occurrences that even Cricket himself can't remember.
But he does know Tezcatlipoca, and did confirm that he was his brother.
He said you wrote it?
Yeah, he said I wrote it, but I don't remember writing it. Oh boy. I'm gonna try talking to Cricket again one last time. What can you tell us about your brother?
He believes in the whole. I believe in the many.
The whole? What do you mean?
I do not know. I cannot remember.
Hmm. He doesn't seem to know much either. Other than believing in the whole, whatever that means.
Clara continues to rub her temples. And she thinks she may have hit a corner of something. She's like, did anyone have any interesting dreams last night?
Saw this dream. She shows the picture of the black jaguar eating the sun.
That looks familiar. Why does that look familiar?
I don't know.
And why do I feel panic when I look at it?
Hmm. But I don't remember this picture. And she shows the serpent surround with that's surrounding many worlds while the black cat is chasing after them and eating each planet. Like a swirl or a yin yang.
Clara continues to think. Well. And then she winces. And
Hmm.
she says, I'll probably be able to remember things later.
Yeah, I think we're thinking too hard on this.
That's the odd thing about this static that just suddenly arrived. I just know it's important, and that I should be sorting through it, but it's a pain. Unless I have reminders for some reason.
That's all that I can see in this journal. It's just vague messages and warnings. Nope.
Just a moment.
Jezebel disconnected. Oh no.
Oh no. We need our Jezebel.
Oh no.
We cannot play the game without her.
Still don't know how Corax is reacting to any of this because she is muted again.
And again, Korax is barely reacting to any of it. Like she's got like a map laid. She's got like she's like just coming to a section of the floor. She's got a map of that part of the city laid out, and she's like trying to like okay, figure out like she's really fixated on this possible assassination attempt on the king that we just found out about.
Uh, hold on. Where's Charlotte?
Out of character, Charlotte left the room, but in character, you're free to continue.
It was in character, yeah.
Just clarifying that.
I should go look for her. I'll be right back.
Laura continues to rub her head.
Ryu, whatever. Oh yeah, Jezebel is not here.
She'll be back in a bit. Feel free to
Okay.
roleplay with Charlotte.
Charlotte? Are you okay?
I think I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have shown all that. Maybe I should have kept that to myself.
If you had done that, we would have made no progress. So I don't blame you for it.
Hmm. No, I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
I think I'm fine. I'm just trying to figure out a few things, and the subject kind of changed drastically, so I had to think about it on my own for a bit.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I was just trying to figure out a few things. So what progress you made in there?
Hmm. Well, 4X, she's trying to work out a plan on her own for the time being. And we know that Cricket apparently has a brother.
Hmm.
And it might have something to do with this picture that I apparently drew for one of my dreams. And it's the black cat eating the sun again.
You drew that on the ground last time, before when you woke up, as I recall.
Yeah, I
So
remember this one for sure, but I don't remember the rest.
it's a bit odd that you had time to do that. Not sure when you had time,
I don't
but
know either.
because you woke up in the morning, you already drew the stick on the ground, right? So when did you drew this?
Don't know?
You had your journal last night too, so it had to be between today.
Hmm.
Just don't see how that happened unless it's some unseen force that's telling you something. That's all I can say on that.
Probably. But there, whoever is writing these is definitely warning me about something or someone in this case.
Says 3 days on it. I mean, it all kind of lines up to the festival.
Hmm. It does seem to line up.
Before
So,
we went to bed, last night before we got randomly teleported right in front of the Elven City, I can also deduce that it would really be roughly 3 days when we got there if we were to walk by foot. So, with the vision we had, it's pretty inferred that that would be the outcome if we didn't get teleported.
Oh,
That's my guess anyway. Another theory. I have plenty of those.
no, it does seem sound for a theory. But for now, maybe we should focus on finding that stone. Or finding
Yeah.
a way to get to that stone.
And that's what I was discussing with Jezebel. Because that seems to be still the same goal. The only thing I can help her with, I can just give her a cloak that makes it easier for her to hide, but I would need a day to make it.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I recall there being a way to get into the palace, at least Korax's section, via underground passage we took one time.
Well, maybe we should discuss this with Korax. And the rest of the group.
About that time, you two hear in your head, "Come now," from
What?
Flora.
That's weird. We don't often hear a tone like that from Clara, of all people. She goes into the room. Is there an emergency?
I figured out more stuff. She has this look of panic on her face. It's not pleasant stuff.
What is it?
I assume Korax is still looking at a map. Also, you are muted.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like she does not even care.
She comes over to you, whacks you upside the head, and says, "I need your full attention."
Well,
So, interesting information. Apparently, Clara goes over to the journal entry and she looks at the cat eating world. And she says, "I think this result is related to realities, and I think Cricket teleported us here because we already failed
What?
because we lost."
What?
Excuse me?
How does... I don't understand?
Did anyone have a nightmare last night?
Uh, I
As a
did.
matter of fact, I did. Why?
What was it like?
I'd rather not repeat what I saw. Especially right now.
Hmm.
Well, I'm guessing like Cricket gave us a nice chat after we lost and all died, I think. I'm not sure.
What do you mean?
That much is not clear.
What do you mean lost and all died? What are you talking about?
Well, we are working with alternate realities, aren't we?
Oh my god, you're right.
Who's to say that in another reality we actually walked the distance and we failed and everyone died?
I really don't want to think about that.
Yeah, me neither.
Uh, we were overwhelmed by undead, I think.
Undead.
Like, the black sun.
But there was no sun.
She looks down at the journal again and the picture of the black cat eating the sun. Oh my god.
Tezcat ate it.
Okay. So let's say your theory has any ground proof. I would like to point out this. If another reality has failed, then why do we have visions of this reality? Why is it connected to us?
The cricket of that reality said that the nightmares come from a previous person when that fracture ends.
Did he say that?
He also says that we are up against Cricket's brother. I think the Drow are summoning his brother.
I thought they were summoning the spider god.
No, they're using Spider Ghost sacrifice.
Spider Goddess is already here.
Yeah.
And Cricket, his brother is bigger and badder. And Cricket thinks he can catch up with the stones. And he also said, and I quote, "It would be easier if the god of magic didn't spite me so much," end quote.
When did he say this?
Yeah, I don't remember him saying this at all.
Uh, as I said, maybe he gave us a chat after we all died. If I remember correctly, Cricket wanted everyone to make a pact so he'd only have to explain it once.
Okay. Charlotte just shakes her head. I can make theories all day about that, but none of that is even relation to what's here. Flora, I am. Why are you wasting my time?
Have you considered that maybe in 3 days, if we fail, Tezcat will come out and just totally own everyone?
No, because we're not going to fail in 3 days.
That's a fair point.
That's not all. That's not all the time we have left for the Drow invasion, is it? We were told 2 months.
Fact of the matter, dear Charlotte, is we seem to have perhaps failed once. But we are given a chance to change things. And change we shall.
So when Tezcat eats the sun, it's like the black sun, but it doesn't end. And, Cricket said that was the best thing he could think of at the time to do the black sun, to prepare everyone for that.
You're telling me that the Black Sun, was just to train us to fight undead, to fight endless waves of undead.
And I quote, "It was the best idea I could come up with at the time," end quote.
I really don't like that you're just saying things that didn't even happen here, Flora. It's absurd.
Well, do you remember anything?
Of course I don't, because it didn't happen. That's like saying, oh, the world could have blown up one day because there's a bomb in the middle of the Earth's crater. That's the validity of your argument here.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to agree with Charlotte on this one. I don't remember anything.
Well, I will give you the rest of what I do know. I think these are memories from the fracture from when the other reality ended. And if it makes you feel any better, Ryu, your grandpa is usually the last one to die.
Last one to.
Flora is
Maybe-
saying the world dies after 3 days. Is what she's hypothesizing with this.
Or rather, starts to die after 3 days because points at picture. She points at the picture of the cat. That.
Everyone, there's. I wasn't going to tell any of you this, considering in how serious it was, as how serious it sounded when I was told about it at the time. But I have something I need to say to you all now. it is very possible that it is very possible that we tried in stopping what's to come and failed. I
Oh, did
know
you get a
this.
nightmare?
No, I know this because Rura told me that Rura told me back at my home village that she, Kagura, Alex, Vierna, and the rest of the people that stopped the calamity back 100 years ago are from 400 years in a future where the calamity succeeded and destroyed the world.
So you believe we're dealing with time manipulation?
Or rather, fractured. Stuff
It's
that
why
we've been dealing since near the start of our adventure together.
it's why Kagura still has our name. It's why Kagura has my name. It's why the island he rules over looks so much like the Wildlands. Because as if he and his friends hadn't showed up 100 years to stop the calamity 100 years ago, the Wildlands would have been all that was left.
This is all very interesting, but tell me, say we fail. Let's say we did fail in this alternate universe. Do we know where we went wrong? Do we know any of the details?
My best guess is we got too slow. We were too slow, and someone had enough to protect the stone, didn't they?
Well, and the point is the mistake the previous mistake has been corrected. So and so what it, so how much does it really matter at this point? I say we keep I say we keep do I say we just keep doing what we're doing right now.
Okay.
That's okay. You're right.
So now that I think about it, we're kind of hosed if we don't have abjuration. What if someone does manage to destroy the stone?
I don't think it was stone was banished, but that's just me. If we're going off your logic, Chlorine, of events of over the vision we had, that might be our only clue at this point. We can safely infer that the city was shielded. Everyone was gone. So the stone likely was not destroyed.
Right. So, we need to come up with a plan to get that stone. And the only way we could feasibly get to it is from the king himself.
No, not correct. That's what I was talking to Jezebel about until this entire thing happened.
Hmm.
Well, continue talking.
Jezebel, we need to sneak you into the palace and you need to find the stone, or find clues of the king's corruption if there is any at all. Preferably the stone is priority, as I was saying.
We determined the stone is inside the shield, isn't it?
No, we did not determine that. We had determined that there is a shield around the egg, and that it will falter whenever the egg hatches, and then the king will take the stone and power the city with it. That's what we inferred into it. They didn't clearly state that the stone was with the egg. It is possible. I'm just saying it's not the only answer.
Hmm. Well, judging from what we saw from that vision earlier, I think I can formulate what happened. Is that the ceremony went ahead as planned. The king set up the barrier. But then once the barrier was set up, someone stole the stone.
I don't think that's it either.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of guessworks. I agree with the first half what you said, Cicada, but we're just making a lot of theories and getting nowhere at this point with them.
True.
We don't know what's going to happen after the third day because we haven't seen that. We only seen the results of it. We haven't seen how it happened. The how is also as important as the end result is. So
True.
we'll say this: let's infer that the city had a shield up. We cannot infer that the stone was taken, unless the stone has a limited range, which we don't know. What's the point of the city having the shield then?
Well, I was told at the library that the shield is meant to keep things in and out.
That's right. As I deferred with the egg too. So, Cicada, what if the shield wasn't for the attack, it was for the transit? People can't leave.
Oh, oh God. We need to make sure that barrier isn't on.
It's an idea. Again, another theory, which I just made another one. Still, with that said, we don't have any clear answers until we get some, and the only way to do that before the actual day is to have someone sneak into the palace and risk getting caught.
You're right. We need more concrete info.
And I agree.
Then, if you are all agreed on the plan, is there any last things you guys would like to do before we wrap this session up?
Clara will add. I can true polymorph myself. If that has any assistance. Oh, also I have true sight. You might want to know that too.
Okay.
Alright, anything else anyone would like to do?
Nothing leaps to mind.
Hmm.
Then, with that, we will wrap this session up. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Bye bye!
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.